In this video, we are going to review how to find the area of parallelograms and the area of triangles. So let's go ahead and get started. Here we have a parallelogram and our directions tell us to find the area. So remember, when we're finding the area of these shapes, there's three lines of work we need to show. The first being your formula. Second being your plug-in step. And your third being your answer with the label. And remember, area is always squared. So here, we're going to start with the area formula for a parallelogram, which is base times height. And then we're going to plug it in. So our base is this 20 millimeters, multiplied by our height, which is the 42 millimeters. And then our third step is to actually answer it. So we need to do 20 multiplied by 42. So we should get 840. And our label is millimeters. And again, area is always squared. So our answer here is 840 millimeters squared. Let's go ahead on to our second problem. We've got another parallelogram, different base, different height, as well as a different label. So let's go ahead and start again. Our first line of work should be our formula. Area equals base times height. The more we write this problem, or this area formula, the more we're going to remember it. So that's why we always want to start with that formula. So area equals base times height. Our plug-in step, our base is 7 inches, and then the height is 18 inches. So we need to multiply 7 by 18. And we get 126. So our area is 126 inches squared. Okay, our third problem is slightly different. It's to find the area of the shaded region. So we're finding the area of this yellow part here. So we've got a parallelogram, but then we've taken out a rectangular piece. We've removed that. So we're going to find two separate areas first. I'm going to find the area of this parallelogram to start with. So I'm going to put area of P for parallelogram is base times height. So again, I'm going to plug in my base, which is 7 feet, my height, which is 5 feet. So our area is 35 feet squared. So that's part of it. Now we need to find the area of this rectangular piece. So the area of a rectangle is length times width. So here our length is 1 foot, our width is 3 feet. And so we've got the area of 3 feet squared. So two separate areas. And what we're trying to find is the shaded region. So we've removed this rectangular piece. So we have to remove that area from the total area. So it's a subtraction problem. So I'm going to put area and then S for shaded. We've got 35 minus that 3 from the rectangle. So the area of the shaded region is 32 feet squared. Okay, we're actually going to move now on to area of triangles. And remember, there were two versions of the area formula. I'm going to use at least one of both. So here we've got area equals base times height. So very similar to our parallelogram, but then we have to divide it by 2. So here the base is 11 feet, multiplied by the height, which is 4 feet. Divide that by 2. So we get 44 divided by 2, which is 22, and then our label is feet, and then area is always squared. So here the area of this triangle is 22 feet squared. So we multiply base and height, and then take that value and divide it by 2. Cut it in half. Okay, let's go ahead on to a second problem. So we've got the other version of our formula. Pick whichever formula you like best, whichever one you're more comfortable with. So I've got 1/2 times base times height. So this is very similar to the one I just used. Instead, though, I'm taking half of a number. While the other one, I multiplied base and height together and then divided it by 2. So both of them do the same thing. So whichever one you feel more comfortable with, go with. So here we've got 1/2. The base is 22. The height is 10. So I'm going to take 1/2 of 22. So half of 22 is 11. And then I still have to multiply it by 10 because I haven't used that number yet. So I've got 11, excuse me, multiplied by 10 gives you 110. And then my label is meters, and area is always squared. So 110 meters squared. Our last problem, again, is just another area problem for a triangle. So I'm going to go back to the area formula, base times height divided by 2. Our base here is 33. Our height is 8. And then we're going to take that product when we multiply it together, divide it by 2. So here, when we multiply 33 by 8, we get 264. And then we need to take that product and divide it in half. So we should have 132. And our meters is our label, and area is always squared. So 132 meters squared. So that concludes our video. Remember, when we're reviewing, we need to know the 2 area formulas. Area for a parallelogram, which is area equals base times height. And then our area for triangles, which is area equals base times height divided by 2, or 1/2 times base times height, whichever one you're more comfortable with. So make sure you remember those formulas. Rewatch any part of the video you may need help with, and good luck studying.